Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'm a licensed psychotherapist, which means my work doesn't magically end when the session does. There are notes to write, appointments to manage, billing, insurance follow-ups, and somehow all that admin used to creep into my nights and weekends. That's why I switched to Simple Practice. Simple Practice is an all-in-one electronic health record built specifically for therapists with HIPAA-compliant tools and high-trust certification, so I don't have to worry about juggling systems or cutting corners just to keep things running. Scheduling, documentation, billing, insurance, client communications, even automated appointment reminders, it all lives in one place. And if you're starting or growing a practice, Simple Practice also offers a credentialing service that helps simplify insurance enrollment, which can be a huge lift when you're starting to scale. Start with a 7-day free trial, then get 50% off your first 3 months. Just go to simplepractice.com. Again, that's simplepractice.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a real-life medium? Then this is the podcast for you. In this show, you'll learn how to open your heart to spirit, hear adventures I've experienced as an award-winning psychic medium and teacher. Plus, I'm going to give you some psychic information and insight into what the future holds for our increasingly crazy world. Tune in every Friday and get ready to connect to the other side. I'm Jen, and I'll be your guide starting right now. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, wow. It's been a while. I skipped a week and I haven't seen you all in a while. I guess I don't really see you. I talk to you and you hear me, hopefully, because that would mean you're listening to the podcast. And I'm going to talk to you today about a spiritual business. And I have some crazy stories for you. I'm telling you, there's some stories that you've never heard before. And I guess the reason why I'm decided to talk about this week, this Friday's episode, is because, let's be real here. As you guys know, I'm pretty honest and sort of just say it like it is. It's pretty rough sometimes having a spiritual business or any business by yourself. I'm a one-man band. I'm like that song, I don't want to be a one-man band. There's some days where you're just like, why am I doing this? And there's, of course, way more days where you're like, oh my God, this is the best day ever and I'm having a great time and I love doing what I do. But then you have these days, as you do in any kind of business or career or job that you may have, where you're like, why am I doing this? And you'll get people who are upset with you. You'll get rude comments. I'm not even talking about that, but that's sort of what triggered this episode is here's the thing. But the good part of this is that it's teaching me something, of course. So yes, we know when something negative happens to us, we sometimes can learn something from it. And usually that's why Spirit is bringing us these lessons. It's okay, now you're on this next level, Jen. So now we're going to help you remember grace. What does grace mean? Well, that's my daughter's middle name. But grace means, basically being overly kind to someone genuinely, because even if they don't deserve it, or they're not, kind of my version of this definition of grace is I'm always trying to pause and think before I react to maybe a rude email or double question marks or something like that. Where are you, Jen? People demanding you respond right away. Well, I don't respond right away, usually, especially after hours and weekends. And that's just normal business sense, right? So trying to understand where the person is coming from. And maybe that's not grace, but a mixture of empathy and grace combined, we'll call it gracepathy. And, just trying to see, why is this person speaking to me this way? Why are they expecting a immediate response, and just trying to see sort of from the other person's, but choosing to respond with overly kindness, over kindness, I guess. And like trying to, I guess it kind of sounds weird, but trying to mean it, you know? So normally if someone's like, hey, like, blah, 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 and I'll immediately match that energy and go back with them, blah, 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 well, this, right? That never works. That never works, right? Let's just say someone wasn't happy with something and they want a refund. Well, you did the work, and so their expectations were not met. And so, but you still did the work. So sometimes in the past, I would have given a refund for that, but now it's like, no, I've done the work. I've used that exchange in exchange for my energy, because as you know, it takes a lot of energy for me to do this work. And just these kind of things. But I'm telling you, it's teaching me grace, like a mother trucker. Like I'm just, I have to respond with grace. Like, why people not saying thank you? Why do people not appreciate what you do sometimes? Why do, and you've got to learn grace. So that's where I am right now, learning how to respond with grace to people and not matching their grumpy energy, and just trying to sort of like maybe put myself in their shoes. Like, why would they be like this, and what is going on in their life? And maybe they have a childhood like that where they were expected to, demand things and they got what they wanted. I don't know. I have no idea. Again, I want you guys obviously to reiterate that there's obviously more positive than negatives, but like I notice on social media, nobody talks about this stuff. Like I bet you if you have a business or a spiritual business, or you're a sole entrepreneur doing everything yourself, and you're expected to like answer 20 emails a day, 30 DMs, post stories, come up with creative content, do like I do at least three readings every morning from 9 till 12, then I teach at nighttime, and like, where's the, so you can kind of see where the spiritual burnout will come out sometimes. And that's my own issue, because I'm the one who booked up. I'm the one who chose to book up until August, September, that kind of thing. That's my choice. And again, here's my thing is like, well, people are probably listening going, well, you don't sound very grateful for what you have. Well, my thing is like, I don't think I have to say, if I'm upset about something, or I'm like sharing, maybe a shadow side of something, I feel like I don't have to say I'm grateful for this, but, I feel like people expect you to say that. Why can't we just talk about a story that was negative and leave it at that? Obviously, I am grateful for everything that I have, right? So I could list a bajillion things I'm grateful for. And I'm grateful for you, and you guys should know that by now, right? So I don't have to say it, but I'm grateful for, like, here's an example that kind of I'm sort of not being triggered about, but just sort of feeling about, what does it feel like to me in my body? It doesn't feel right. So someone's like, well, how was your trip to Florida? And, I'm like, well, it was okay, but people are expecting you to go like, oh my God, I'm so grateful I got to go to Florida in the sunshine and I got a tan. They're like, well, you're so tan. Yeah. It was good. It was a good trip. It wasn't, wasn't like, I don't know, this dream vacation. And I know some people are not able to go to Florida. They don't have the means to do it. Obviously, I'm grateful I got to go away. Like my soul literally was like, I mean, your soul can't die, but me being Jen, it's like, oh, my soul's going to die if I didn't get into the sun. Like there's been no sun this winter at all. And my soul was like, I felt like my soul was dying, which isn't true. And getting to go to Florida in the sun was like heaven. Like just lying in the moments where I got to lie in the sun and just do nothing were incredible. But everyone asked, how was your trip? So that's a very general question, right? So it would take me hours to explain all the times that I got to sit in the sun by myself, and the yummy food and the beach and the ocean, like, right? So like it's very generalized. So people expect you to say, oh, it was amazing, it was wonderful, and they're like, oh, you're so ungrateful if you weren't so happy the whole time. You know what I mean? So that's kind of coming up for me too. It's like people expect you, but what about this? But you, at least you got to go. Well, I got to go. So like, just I feel like we have to break that stigma of like, you have to be like, oh my God, it was the best amazing thing and I'm so grateful I got to go. And I think we need to break that, really, because every time someone's like, my answer isn't good, sorry, that's Rudy barking, it's like my answer isn't good enough for something, I'm just gonna give you my answer that I want to give you. Oh boy. Also, while we're at it, let's talk about the expectation of perfection, shall we? Right? So like, if you're listening to the podcast and you heard Rudy barking, it's like, oh, well, that wasn't perfect, Jen. What's really cool is I always do meditations. I meditate almost every night. And Insight Timer, there's this really good meditation where it's like a prosperity mantra, something like this. And the guy who's doing the mantra, you have to repeat Shreem, Brazi, like 108 times. And this guy is doing this 108 times. And what I loved about this meditation is that he cleared his throat. Like you would think that people would be like, I didn't look how many stars he got or how many people rated him, but I can imagine there'd be some people who would be super annoyed by that, like a dog barking or someone clearing their throat or sniffing, this kind of thing, right? Like, you know, I feel like there's like a dismantling happening where I actually love that he cleared his throat 3 or 4 times in the meditation. It didn't bother me. It didn't get me out of my mantra meditation. It didn't get me out of the zone. It didn't take away from the feeling of it. It didn't take away from the value. You know, it was just still, I'm like, I wanted to email this guy. I'm like, thank you for clearing your throat. Thank you for not showing up with perfection, right? So Rudy barking, well, he's on my lap now, so he would stop barking. You know, Rudy barking in the middle of this podcast might annoy some people or might be like, oh, I'm going to give Jen 3 stars. Please don't do that. The people who are mad at me gave me 1 star. So, but you know what I mean? So we have to also dismantle the perfectionism. Like I love that. If you like see things changing in your life and you're like, maybe you're not noticing like the bigger picture or like the subtle things that are going on in the background that are changing, right? Another example of that before I get into my stories about my business is the current astrology. So I love astrology. Like there's 2 people I love. You know, one of them, Bravely Beautiful Brancourt Burns. I love her to death. She's like, I've known her for a while, and go on social media and follow her, Instagram. And also a new person, Jen from Magnetic Mountain. Like I should have her on the podcast. I actually think I invited her on the podcast and it's never happened yet. I'm actually going to have her teach in spirit school, which is cool. But like, I love her content. It's amazing. So like I saw both of them posting about, I think it's Pluto and Aquarius and where it's in your chart and but your natal chart, but your transit chart, like learning all this cool stuff. And apparently Pluto is in my 2nd house, which is about health and I think work. And once I saw that and once I figured I was on the right chart, I was like, oh my God, this makes like, it's already happening. Like it's affecting transformation in your health. So like, in the last week alone, I've like felt very intuitively called, I need a heavy metal detox. So if you Google heavy metal detox or like dementia, so my dementia runs rampant in my family in the older generations. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to get dementia. But like so powerful, a transformation in my mindset being like, I'm not going to get dementia. I'm going to get this in the butt. And so one of the things that you can do to prevent dementia, obviously is maybe sugar, but I think that's also been proven not true. I think it's heavy metals. So I'm so in tune with my body that my body's like, we need to detox heavy metals from your system so that you can feel more pure and healthy and have more energy. Maybe not nap every day, maybe not go to bed 9 o'clock, but that was what my soul was calling me to do. My soul is like, we need to do this. And so I did a little bit of research, not too much. Want to make sure it's safe, and so that's happening. And then yesterday I'm on Instagram and then someone that I follow has one of those hydroponic towers where you grow vegetables. I'm like, oh, I need that. Like, I need to do that. I need to grow my own vegetables. And just this whole health thing is, and then I'm following this Plant You, I think it's called Plant You on Instagram. And she has these amazing recipes for like vegan, healthy meals that are pretty easy because I hate cooking. So like all these things, it's already happening. So you got to pay attention to like the subtle things in the background that you don't even know. Because you think if you like astrology and you hear Pluto, you're like, oh crap. Like, you're terrified of Pluto or whatever. But like, it's actually very helpful. It's transforming the way I do things and my mindset and my health routines and all these things. So, I mean, go get a reading from either of these lovely ladies and see where this is happening in your chart. I mean, you can do it yourself, but I was on the wrong chart, but that's okay. The court got me into the right chart. So, just like noticing how everything is connected is just, for me, super powerful. I'm just noticing, I'm like, oh, like I thought I was in the money house, but apparently that's my birth natal part of it. And I don't know, but just go check out your chart. I think astro.com. But you do need to know you do need to know your time of birth. Okay, so let's move on here. Some quick announcements for you. I thought it was full for my Foundations of Mediumship 1-year program, but I overcounted. I had someone twice on my list. So there is one more spot if you'd like to join that. I would love 20. I have 19. We need an even number because they're going to be partners. And I feel like you're going to meet your friends there. Like I feel like whoever's registered with my 1-year program, they're going to meet like some lifetime friends. I'm already noticing in my other classes that people are becoming very close friends. And I love to see that. I actually had two of my students who live on opposite coasts meet each other, and they sent me a picture of them together. I was like, this is amazing. So you will meet new friends in my courses, and so there's one spot for that. So I think it's still on my Instagram in the bio. And then I have Psychic Development Level 2, which is coming up in May, the first week of May. Psychic Level 2, anyone can join that. I will help you through it. And let me see what else we got here. Oh, I have completely forgotten about Between Two Worlds. It's like a couple-hour course. I don't even remember the date, but I will put it in here in the show notes. It's only $50. It's about the hallway. So when I talk about the hallways, like the place that I found between the human world and the spirit world, where your loved ones who are still incarnate, that means they're still here. So they have dementia, or they're very ill, or your animals are about to pass because they're very sick. They reside in this hallway. And so I'm going to teach you all about this hallway. It's very eye-opening, I feel like. And I think that's all I want to share with you before I get into the wonderful stories, some good, some not so good, about my spiritual business. And just so you know, it's not to deter you from doing your own spiritual business. Like mine feels like it's an extreme experience. Like I feel like if you go like, okay, Jen, I'm going to have a spiritual business, I'm going to be a medium, don't expect these things to happen to you. I have a very dramatic energy, and I feel like I just attract all this stuff. My life is very karmic, if that makes sense. So like karma means like past life memory. So a lot of people that I meet in my life who are drawn to me or who I work with for a short time are from my past life. And it's very heavily karmic. So I feel like before I came to this life, I was like, okay, here's my contract. Well, we're going to go through this again. And you have to come full circle with this. And it's going to replay again. It's going to be very dramatic and chaotic and whatever. And that's just how it is. Things have been pretty calm lately, which is great. Knock on wood, bing, bing, bing. But all of my stories that I have are kind of karmic, and they're very dramatic and chaotic. So I will share one that it comes to mind. I haven't made any notes, so I'm just going to go from memory here. Is that like maybe the first 2 years of my business, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be on TV. And so I had an agent, and which you probably don't even know this. I had an agent. Her name was Sandra, and it didn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. So she kept getting me commercial auditions. I never actually got a commercial through her. And I remember I got an audition finally. And I don't remember what it was for, but I remember I was paired up with this really weird guy. It was like pretending he was my husband or something really dumb. And I was way overdressed. Like the audition said, just come casual. And I was like in this bright blue dress with like rainbow at the bottom. I was way overdressed. My hair, I was just overdressed. Anyways, I was the last to audition. They picked me last. That's how I kind of knew. But in my headshot package, I put like on my resume that I was a medium. And I had a feeling that I shouldn't do that, but I'm like, no, I'm new. I'm going to like try to get people to want to get a reading. And I just started my business. And I never mixed the two, by the way. So anyways, I put a whole bunch of my business cards in my package and like my headshot, and I was a medium and whatever. Obviously, I had no experience in the show business or commercial actor realm. And so a couple weeks after that, I get some mail. And I think it was a card note. There was two actually of these things that happened, but this one was particular. I can't remember if it was like a big envelope or like a card envelope. And when I got this envelope in the mail, I was like, I had a very weird feeling like maybe I shouldn't open this mail. And so of course I did. So I opened it up, and on the card, it was a card note. Like someone took the time to write out a note and get a stamp and write my address.
Be adventurous in the sun. Be protected in the sun. Be confident in the sun. Be fearless in the sun with Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen. As experts in mineral sunscreens for nearly 30 years, we've earned awards for our high-quality products and the trust of healthcare professionals. Embrace every moment in the sun with your family and Blue Lizard by your side. Be fearless in the sun. Shop Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen now on Amazon.com.
This is Mike Boileau of Lexicon Valley.
And I'm Bob Garfield. Are you one of those people who sometimes uses words?
Do you communicate or acquire information with, language?
Hey, us too. So join us on Lexicon Valley to chew over the history, culture, and many mysteries of English, plus some wisecracks.
Find us on one of those apps where people listen to podcasts.
And send it to me in the mail. And on this note was, 4 letters in big capitals. And it said, can you imagine? You are a fraud. And I was like, you know that like that feeling inside, like you personally attacked, and you're like, oh my God. And immediately I would get super upset, and like your body starts shaking, and you like feel gross on the inside, and you want to puke. Well, that's all that happened, right? I'm like, who would think I was a fraud? Like, I just started this business, so the only thing I could think of it was I had brought and someone maybe didn't believe in mediums in the audition process. It was just very coincidental. Like, looking back, I don't remember like me doing anything to anyone that would constitute them sending me a handwritten note that said you were a fraud. So I feel like when I was a baby medium, someone says that to you, you're like, oh my God, maybe I am a fraud. Oh my God, maybe someone hates me. Like, you go through all these things. Like if someone sent it to me now, hopefully they don't. Like, please don't send me hate mail. Someone hasn't in a long time, but if someone had sent that to me now, I'd probably be like laughing, that growth. But like back then as a baby medium and psychic, I was like, oh my God, someone hates me. Right? So that happened. I did get another piece of hate mail maybe a year after that. And it was in response to, like, why can't you just why is he sending me mail? You're going to write a handwritten note and mail it to me and find my address. Anyways, this whole letter was in response to a post I had made that wasn't even negative about someone that I had been working with. And this whole letter was defending them, calling me all these names and what a horrible person I was for saying these things about this wonderful person. Meanwhile, they had no idea what this person was actually like behind closed doors to me. It's presenting as this wonderful human being, and then behind closed doors, it was another story. And so that was another letter. And I remember that one really was kind of, I don't want to say worse than the first one, but it was, because it was about a person that I work with, and it involved like emotions and things like this. And I remember I had to like do something about it. I'm like, I have to burn this letter. Like, I felt like the energy was so awful that I got like this one of my metal mixing bowls, and I put this letter in and I lit it on fire. And I think I took a video of it. This is like 2017, 2018, not even, maybe 2018. And I burned it. I remember taking a video. I'm like, just burn this. No, I have to burn it. Like, I had to burn the energy off. That's why I felt like I just needed to light it on fire. So that also one of the things that happened. And then maybe like a year or so after that, I've had two people threaten me with, are they shocking to you? I don't know. As I'm talking about them, like, did this really happen to me? Like, so there was two separate individuals who threatened me with legal action. Now, without getting too much detail, the first energy was they weren't happy with the scheduling. So like, they had paid me for mentoring or something like this, and then the scheduling wasn't working out. And then they were upset about that. And we tried so many times to get to work out. It just wasn't working out. But I kept offering different dates. And so this person just got fed up. And they were like, well, you're not providing a service. I'm like, I'm trying my best to get you to cut. Like, it just wouldn't, they just kept saying, no, it wasn't working out. But I kept offering. And so she decided that she was going to hire legal action against me for not providing a service. And so that one, I was very upset about. Like, it's traumatizing, guys. It's traumatizing to have these things happen to you. And so I think it's not the lawyer, but the lawyer's helper. I can't remember what it's called. Not the practitioner, but you know what I mean? So like the legal, I can't think of what it's called right now. But the person under the lawyer, the person who helps the lawyer, I called one of them, and they're like, well, as long as you're offering to provide the service, you don't have to worry about anything. I'm like, phew. So I went back to this person who was very upset with me and threatening this and taking action. I told her what they had said, and she just went away. So, like, if you're listening to this, you're like, well, what did you do? I'm telling you what I did. I kept offering the service, and let's do a different time, and how about this day? And then it just wasn't working out. That was my first indication this was not aligned at all, and I should not have been working with this person. So there is that one. And the second one, I'm not going to go into detail, but there was another legal action or like a threat or like a blackmail energy, also about not really my business, mostly my person, how do I explain that? My character. And it just was a big messy thing. So we worked that out on our own without that. But I was devastated. Yeah. So that one was more like, yes, I had some play in that one, but like, it's very traumatizing. I'm like, oh my God, I remember those feelings that are coming up when this occurred. And I'm very grateful that everything worked out, and it just worked out. But like, of these stories are just coming up, and I had forgotten completely about all these stories. And yes, obviously there's very good stories as well. I got asked to speak on stage about my story a couple times. I got to go to commercial. There are way more beautiful things that happen, but my thing was like when someone DMs me or emails me on like a Saturday, you guys obviously know that I'm not going to respond to you, right? So, or anyone, like I'm not, and I was like, at this point, what? People, like, I still have to explain this to people. Like, I don't, and so all of this sort of like started accumulating like a snowball. And this happened, I think, when I got back from Florida. And some of it happened before I went to Florida. So I definitely wasn't answering anybody when I was in Florida. And so I have to be so careful. Like, if you have a spiritual business, we have to be so careful of how we manage our energy. And I can be so, like, think about it. How about, like, I don't want to compare it to a doctor, but let's use a doctor as an example. So if you really need to talk to the doctor is not going to call you at 8 o'clock or respond to an email at all, ever, at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. And I shouldn't have to tell you this, but you know what I mean? So some people still don't have the idea that maybe people who, like, literally the doctor would work by herself. The doctor would have no receptionist. The doctor would have no nurse helping, no nurse practitioner, no one to book appointments. The doctor has to do everything herself. And that's me. I have to do that. I have no receptionist. I have no office manager. I have no nurse practitioner. I have no assistants. I have nothing. I do everything on my own, right? So it can get very overwhelming. And I've had people like, why don't you just get an assistant? Well, I've had assistants in the past and it doesn't work. It just never works because it's like one more step for me. Where if I get an email that I don't want to deal with and I have to forward it to the assistant and then they take their time answering that person, then it just never worked out, right? I would love to have someone help me where it would work out. Like, someone be my office manager, please. Someone do all the admin things for me. That's what I would love, because the admin side, I'm not great at, and I'm in the energy of like, I'm not in a hurry to respond to people, So yeah, just think of me as a doctor, Dr. Jen, and I have no help and I'm doing everything by myself, and you want to make an appointment, but you got to come to the doctor, not the receptionist. Does that make sense? Not really, right? You're like, I have this pain, I have this emotional pain, I have this question, and I really need your help. Well, just think of me as Dr. Jen with no help. That's what you're dealing with, right? So you can kind of see like why I get burned out quite a bit, because on top of all of that, me being the one-man band, I also have readings to do, and I teach at nighttime, right? And the work that I do, not the teaching, the work that I do, it takes especially mediumship, takes a lot of energy, right? And I'm noticing lately too that I'm having more trouble detaching or cutting cords. Like, so when you meet someone, you get an energetic cord from you to them. Some are bigger, some are smaller, whatever. Some are easy to cut, some are just go away on their own. Some are there forever and get bigger and ugly. And I'm having more trouble detaching from clients. So before, if I read for you, I'm fine. Like, I don't remember. If you come back in like 6 months or a year, I will probably not remember. And it's not because you're not a wonderful person. It's just because I detach from everything that I've said and the conversation that we've had and the information that's come through. But lately I'm like having a lot more trouble detaching from, and even last night I had a emergency reading last night from someone, and all of the things that we had discussed were in my dream. So I'm having a lot of trouble detaching or like cutting the cord after I meet with you. So do you see there's a lot going on behind the scenes? Do you think, oh, here's Jen doing this funny reel on Instagram. Oh my God, wouldn't have time for that. Right? So yeah, so just, you've got to learn, you will 100% learn so much about yourself. Not only when you have a spiritual business and you go out on your own and you put yourself out there and you get super busy, which I'm grateful for. See, I shouldn't have to say that. I already am. I just know that I am grateful for that. But see, that's a program, but I better tell them I'm grateful. But I am. I really am. And it's just, even just also doing this energetic work, it's just very, like, I take on so much energy. Like, I was telling someone the other day, my right ear, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a good ear and a bad ear. So my right ear is plugged. And I'll tell you why. It's not a medical thing, but I'm clairaudient, right? So when I do mediumship readings for you and your loved ones come and talk to me, they line up on the right side of me and they talk in my right ear. So that powerful energy of your loved ones in spirit speaking to me energetically and telepathy wise in my right ear has blocked my ear. So people, if I go for a walk with my friend, I'm like, go on my good ear. Like, I'm only 48. Like, why have a bad ear already? And I've actually, not to be gross, I've actually gone to like an ear specialist where they have like a very loud vacuum machine, like the hose on the end of it, and attachment. They stick it in your ear and they pull out all the wax, which sounds gross. But the guy's like, the energy of the wax is like spirit, it has to materialize as something. So like, he's like, I can't go, if I go even deeper to get all this out of you, you're gonna hate me because it's gonna hurt a lot. I'm like, okay, just leave it. Right. So I may in the future have to have like some surgery or something about my ear because like I can't hear very well in my right ear. Right. So think about it, like it's like also on my body. So I'm so happy that but it allows me to be so in tune with my body. But I'm like, I need zeolite, right? And I need to switch toothpaste, and I need to switch to my laundry soap, and maybe I don't need to dye my hair this much, or maybe I need to do organic hair, you know? And so it's very full circle-y. It's like, it allows me so much in tunement with what my body is requiring of me. And you guys know that I get sick a lot, right? So like that one time in the summer where I was sick for 3 weeks, couldn't do anything. Now I know how to prevent that. So that's a very big bonus where I know like, it's time to take a break, Jen, and I don't ignore it anymore. I'm like, nope, let's take a break before it gets too heavy or you get sick, right? Most people would just push through, whereas I don't because I'm so in tune with everything now, right? So that is those are my stories about my spiritual business that were kind of crazy and chaotic. Obviously, there are some beautiful stories that I will share with you at some point. I do want you to know that I am loving this life, and some people might be shocked to know that I'm going to be super honest with you. And I think I've actually said this before in public. I don't know. Maybe I haven't. I'm saying to clients, I don't remember. But I always ask people, like, if you had like, let's say millions of dollars and you could do anything that you wanted to, I always ask people, would you still do what you're doing? And you're going to be shocked to hear. And I don't want you to think I'm not grateful. And I don't want you to think that I don't like what I'm doing. I want you to know that if someone offered me millions of dollars, I would not be doing this business anymore. And it's not because I don't love it, and it's not because I don't love you, and it's not because I don't like what I'm doing. I would still do it for free. Like if someone needed my help and someone messaged me and I'm on a beach somewhere writing books, that's what I want to do. My soul has placed on the timeline me just living on beaches, traveling, working from wherever I am, but I'm writing books because that is what my soul loves to do. And I am so grateful for this job because now I know what I really would love to do on top of this, or like in addition to this, is just write. My soul wants to write books. Like, you guys only have one book of mine. I'm supposed to write another book. Where is this other book? I don't have time to write this other book. So my soul is yearning to write this other book and multiple other books, and I don't have the time to be creative or sit and, do you know what I mean? So I would still help you if you like, Jen, I really need your help. I'd be like, no problem. I will help you, right? That is just who I am. That's who we all are. We will all help each other. But if someone gave me millions of dollars, and I want you to be super honest with yourself right now. If someone, people say, well, I would still do it part-time. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't do it. You still would not do it. The only person I can think who still would do his job is Chad. That's the only person that I know that would still be doing what they're doing. And maybe let me know, are you going to still, what's your be honest with yourself, completely transparent with yourself. You don't have to tell anybody the answer. I mean, I told you my answer. And every time I say, I'm like, oh shit, what are people going to think? Don't care, because I'm being completely honest with you. And I'm telling you what my soul would love to do. And so you've got to also get honest with yourself sometimes and being like, is this really what I want to do? What would I do if I had the freedom to do this, right? That's freedom. Freedom is doing what your soul wants to do and figuring out a way and following the breadcrumbs to that path, right? And sometimes you'll be like, well, I thought I wanted to do this. Like, I thought I wanted to do retreats. I don't think I do. Because I did a day one at my house and it was a lot of work. It's not that I don't want to work. I want to do work that I love. And I want to write books. I want to write you a book. I want to write books about everything about my life, about, I want to do mushrooms and get all the ideas for these beautiful books, and while still helping you on the side if you need my help, because I will always be there for you. And I got to be there for me though. I've got to be there for myself, right? So we got to also break this program of like, oh, I got to help people before myself. No, we're breaking that. I need to be there for myself. And when I'm there more for myself and I'm in tune with my body and what my body needs, and, it's time to take a break, or it's time to go to Florida, or it's time to go to Portugal, whatever it is, that's what I'm going to do, because I put me first. And there's still so many of you who are putting yourselves last. I know, how I know this? Because I'll do a psychic reading for you and everything will be about everyone else and you will not get any answers for yourself, because I can only read according to your energy. And that's how I know that you are being selfless. And what we need to be is more selfish. That word sounds terrible, but we need to take care of ourselves first, or we can't help anybody. We can't help anybody. Can you imagine? I can just see myself like sitting on this beach, like I'm with my MacBook and I'm writing all these books. I'm so freaking happy that I'll be wanting more to help you. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm going to help you for free. Like, here's a class for free, because I'm so in that joy, in that freedom, that I don't need to ask you for money to do this. You know what I mean? So I don't want this to be about needing money. People are always like, well, you should do anything for free. Well, this has become my job. This is my career now. And once you get somewhere that you've always wanted, because I've always wanted, I wanted this so badly. Guys, I quit my job to do this and I love it. And there's just some times where I'm like, what? But it's good, because when you get to the point where you're like, oh my God, something needs to change here, then you can see the actual next steps, or what's the next level, So anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It might have been a little bit all over the place, but I haven't had my tea yet. It's also kind of late. It's like 9:00. So I'm going to get this out to you guys right now. And thank you guys so much for being here and listening to the Singing Medium podcast. Go follow me on Instagram, elevate.hersoul. I'm on Facebook at the Singing Medium. And I think you guys are awesome. And I'll see you guys all next time.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Stacy.
And we make Trashy Divorces, everybody's favorite good podcast about bad relationships.
Looking for something true crimey without the gore or the body count?
We've been churning out funny, feisty, feminist episodes since 2019. So if you're looking to put some scandalous stories told well into your ears this summer, check out Trashy Divorces, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Trust us, we've covered someone you love.
Or someone you love to hate.